talking about lines, and one thing that's important for lines is the slope, and that's the rise over the run. So let's say we have a point x1, y1, and another point x2, y2. Now, 2 points, any 2 points will determine a line between them. Okay. There's a line, for given any 2 points, there's a unique line that passes between those 2 points. The slope is how much it rises over how much it runs. And this just comes down to, if you draw the triangle here, then as you go from this point to that point, you're going y2 minus y1, you're going that much. Okay. So this distance here is the amount that you're going down is y2 minus y1, or that's going to be a negative number, but it's signifying that you're going down. And then as you go from here to here, that's x2 minus x1. Okay, so this divided by that, so the rise or divided by how much it runs across is the slope. Okay, so that's really important. If you have 2 points, then that's the slope between them. Okay, now there's different forms of the equation of a line. Probably this is the most common one, the slope-intercept form. And with this one, it literally goes through the intercept, and then the m represents the slope, the rise over the run. So and this is the point slope form. So if you have a point and you know the slope, you can write that down. And then here's the general form. This is the most useful thing about this one, is that it helps you to find the intercepts faster from this one. Parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals of each other in this way. Okay, so that's just a brief introduction. So let's get into doing some exercises. So number 1, we find the steepness or slope of a line passing through points by dividing the difference in y coordinates by the difference in x coordinates. So the line passing through these 2 points, and that just goes back to the formula that was on the first page. So this is x1, y1, or x2, y2. I'm sorry. The second point we'll call that 2, and then this is the first point. So y2 is going to be 17. Y1 is going to be 1, and then x2 is 4. X1 is 0. Okay, so that's going to be 16 over 4, which is 4. So that's going to be okay, so those are the answers to that one. Number 2, a line has this equation. Okay, this is the point slope form of the equation of the line. So the slope is 2. Okay, so compare that with y equals mx plus b. This m is 2, so that's the slope is 2. Any line parallel to this line also has slope 2, and perpendicular, it's negative reciprocal, negative 1/2. Okay. So 2 is like 2 over 1, and the reciprocal is 1 over 2. And then you multiply by negative 1. Okay, so that's the second one. Okay, then the third one deals with the point slope form of the equation. So here, the slope is 7, and it goes through that point right there. So here's the form right here, y minus y0 equals the slope times x minus x0. So just plug in a 5 for the y0, 7 for the slope, and 1 for the x0. Okay, so that would that should give you the correct answer for that one. So that's the point slope form. Any questions so far? Okay, let's go to the next one, number 4. For the linear equation, okay, so this is the general form right here. And so the advantage for that one is if you take this 60 to the other side, then to find the x-intercept, remember the x-intercept is where you set y equal to 0. To do that, basically just I knock that out completely. And so you just ignore that, or you can cover that up with your finger or whatever, and then just solve this equation here, or rewrite this like this, and then this gives you 12, so 12. Okay, and then for the y-intercept, you just set x equal to 0. So you have 6y equals 60, and that's going to give you 10. Okay, the equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so the y-intercept is 10, right? So that's also b is 10. But what you want to do is to get slope-intercept form from another equation of a line, you solve for y. Okay, so take this 5x to the other side, and then divide by 6. Okay, so that's going to be the answer to that one. Y equals, or negative 5, 6x plus 10 is what you get right there. And then the slope is negative 5/6. So like you said, so if you have the if you have the equation of a line and you want to find the slope-intercept form, or if you want to find the slope, or if you want to find the intercept, then you solve that equation for y, and then this is your slope and this is your y-intercept. Okay, so number 5, the slope of a horizontal line is 0. So if you have a horizontal line that goes through this point, then you it's going to be y equals the y coordinate, which is 8. The slope of a vertical line is undefined. And if you want an equation of a vertical line, then so x equals the x component, which is 6. Okay. Number 7, find the equation for the graph whose line is sketched. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to, first of all, identify the y-intercept, which is negative 6. Okay, so we're looking at this form right here. We found b is negative 6. Okay, then what you want to do is find the slope. Now, to find the slope, what you need to do, or the best way to do it is look for points that are on these, that are like that you can identify. So you can't identify any of these points here. You can identify this point, and you can identify that point, but that's about it. Okay. Let me do this in green. Okay, so you can identify that point and that point, right? So this point here is 0, -6. That point is -5, 0. Okay, so there's a couple of ways that you can do this. Okay, first of all, you can use this formula here. Okay, and that's okay. We'll call this the first point, that's the second point. So that would be this value minus that value 0 over the x values minus that one, which this is negative, that's going to be positive 5 down there, but you go -6. So it's going to be -6 over 5. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Let me go ahead and finish off the problem because we know the slope, right? We know the slope is -6 over 5. And we know that the y-intercept, that's -6. Okay, so that will be the answer. The other way that you can find the slope is by using the rise over the run concept. And what you do for that is you'd say, okay, so to go from here to here, then what's happening? I'm going from there to there, I'm going down 6, and I'm going across by 5. So rise over the run is a -6 over 5. Okay, but that's going from this point to that point. Okay, but if we wanted to go the other way, at this point to that point, then the rise is going to be, it's actually going up 6, right? But it's going backwards by 5. Okay, so you get -6/5 either way. Okay, any questions on that? I mean, again, you can just stop me anytime if you want. Feel free to do that. Okay, number 8. Here we get into finding equations of lines with specified things. So that it goes through that point and has slope 2. Okay, so this one, we can use the point slope form of the equation of a line. And then just plug in the values. Okay, so that's x0, y0, and that's m. So that's 3, plug a 3 there, a 2 in for m, and a 5 in for x0. And this case, it will accept this answer. You could also put it into slope-intercept form. I'm sure it would accept that as well. Okay, second one, find an equation through 2 points. Okay, so here you have 2 points, but what you need is either you need the slope and another point is what you need. You need the slope and a point. Well, you have 2 points, so you're satisfying the point requirement, but you need the slope. Okay, so let's take this minus. We'll take that's 2 and that's 1, so that's the difference in the y coordinates divided by the difference in the x coordinates. Okay, so 8 minus 6 over 5 minus 6. So that's 2 over -1, which is -2. So the slope is -2. Okay, now you can use the point slope form and use one of these points. So I'll do this problem a couple of ways. You know, the slope is -2. So we could use this first point and just go y minus 6 equals -2 times x minus 6. So I'm using the 6's here and here. Or I could use the 5 and the 8. So 8 here and a 5 there, that's also fine. And that would give you an answer. The other way you could do this is the slope-intercept form. just plug the negative 2 in for the slope, and then just find this b and plug it back in. So you can plug that point in for 6, and you can plug a 6 in for y, and a 6 in for x, like that. So add 12 to both sides, that's 18. Then plug the 18 back into here, I'm sorry, into that one. And that answer. Okay. So all those should work. If you were to simplify this one out, solve this for y, distribute that in, and take the 6 over to the other side, you'd get this. Okay, so number 10. Find the equation of a line through 3, 5 with slope 0. Okay, slope 0 means it is horizontal line, and so you just take the y component, and set y equal to it, and that's your equation right there. Undefined means vertical line. So you take x and set equal to the x component. Okay. Okay, number 12. Find an equation of the line through 1, -6 that is parallel to this other line. So parallel lines have the same slope. So what you're going to do first is solve this for y so we can get the slope. Okay, so divide by 2. Doesn't really matter what this part is. Right here, this is what we're after. So the slope is -1/2. Okay, so now what we have is so we've reduced this problem down to, we have a point which is 1, -6, and we have the slope -1/2. So we want to find the line that has slope -1/2 that goes through the point 1, -6. Okay, so we can use the slope. We can use the slope-intercept form. We know the slope is -1/2, so plug that in there. And now you plug this point in, so plug a -6 in for y. And the 1 in goes in for x. Wait. 1 goes in for x. Okay, so this one goes there, and that one goes here. Okay, because that's replacing your y, that's replacing your x. Okay, this is -12/2. I'm trying to get that, and then this is -1/2. Add 1/2 to both sides, and you have -11/2. B is like -11/2. So then you plug this b back up into here. Okay, -1/2 x minus 11/2 is your equation. Okay, that's for parallel. So for parallel lines, that means that these are going to be the same. Okay, let's go to the next exercise. This is perpendicular line. Find an equation of a line through this point that is perpendicular to this line. Okay, so again, the first step is to solve for y. Take the negative 2, pick the 2x over to the other side, becomes negative. Divide by 7. This is your slope, but because it's perpendicular, we take the negative reciprocal of it. So we take, instead of 2 over 7, it's 7 over 2, and this negative gets eliminated. Okay, so that's the slope that we're after right here. Okay, so that means now that our equation of the line is going to look like this. We just need to find b. We find b by plugging this point in. Negative 2 for y, and negative 1 for x, like that. But this is negative 4 halves, and this is negative 7 halves. So b is, let's see, negative 7 halves plus 7. So you add 7 halves to both sides, and that's going to be 3 halves. And then plug this 3 halves into here. And there's your equation. Okay, so notice this time it's perpendicular. So you flip it over and multiply negative, but then that's your equation, and plug the point in there. You can also just use the slope-intercept form if you want. No, this I'm sorry, the point-slope form if you want. That would save a little bit of time. Okay, number 14. Find the slope and intercept and y-intercept of this line, y equals 5 minus x. Okay, this one is written. If you rearrange this, okay, so 5 minus x, instead of writing 5 minus x, you write negative x plus 5. Then now it's in slope-intercept form. Okay, so that means that the slope is negative 1, and the intercept is 5. Okay, except they want you to put it in, so you can say that the y-intercept is just 5, but they're on Webassign, they're asking for you to put it into a point form. So yeah, this is 5 right here, but they're saying what are the coordinates of that point, and the coordinates are 0, 5, because the x coordinate is 0 and the y coordinate is 5. Okay, so those will be the 2 answers there. Okay, now they also want you to graph this. And so let's go to Webassign. Okay, so here's the exercise in Webassign, and they want us to graph this. Okay, so what you do is you come over to this one right here. Whatever's highlighted in blue is what it's going to do. Okay, so you want to come up and make sure it does this one here. So just tap there a couple of times. So this is blue, and now it knows it's going to do a line. Okay, now the first thing you want to do is you want to put a couple of points on the line. And the easiest one is this y-intercept here. So 0, 5, that's up here. So put that there. So click there. Then you want another point. So you can use the slope to find another point. The slope is negative 1. So that's rise over run. So you could, the negative 1 is also the same as negative 1 over 1, right? So you could go down 1 and across by 1, and that's going to be another point. Okay, or if you were to go back 1 and up 1 and back 1, that would work too. Okay, then let's submit that. Okay, so as you can see, that should work. Okay, so let's go back to the other document and the next problem, number 15. Find the slope and y-intercept of this line. So the easiest way is to take this and solve for y. Okay, so we'll take this 4x to the other side, like that, and then divide both sides by 5. By -5, I'm sorry. Divide it. So basically, you're dividing everything by -5. And so this is 4/5 x, and then this is -4. Okay, so the slope is 4/5, and the y-intercept, oops. And the y-intercept is -4, or 0, -4. Okay, so if you have it in the general form, well, it's technically not general form because the 20 is over here, but that doesn't really make much difference. So let's go ahead and let's go over to Webassign and do it there. Okay, so the slope is 4/5 and the y-intercept is 0, -4. Okay, so again, you come over here, select the line tool. You want to put the y-intercept in first. That's 0, -4, so 0, -4. So down here. Okay, now for the slope, it's 4/5. So starting from that point, if we go up 4, so it's rise over run. Rise is 4, run is 5. So up 4, you rise by 4, you go across by 5. And that's going to be another point on the graph. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, let's come back over here. Number 6, find the slope and y-intercept of the line x = 6. Okay, so this is x = 6 is a vertical line. Okay, so the slope is undefined. Okay, so the slope does not exist. And the y-intercept does not exist either. Okay, because it's a vertical line. So, and let me try how to do it in Webassign. So those don't exist. So again, you select the line tool, of course, and then x = 6. So you want to come over, so x equals, here's 6 right here on the x coordinate. Anything on this vertical line here will have x = 6. So just choose a couple of points that are on this vertical line. So it could be this point over here or anything else, okay? and then that should give it to you. Okay. So you could choose this point here. You could use this point down here if you want, just whatever you want. You don't even have to choose that point. It could be this point here or no point over there. Okay, just any 2 points along this vertical line will do it. Okay. Let's go back to the PDF reader. Okay, great. So now number 17. Find the slope and y-intercept of this line. This is a horizontal line, and you could also think that's 0x minus 6. Okay, so the slope, okay, so that's 0x is still 0, and then so all this would simplify down to just being negative 6. So the slope is 0, and the y-intercept would be 0, negative 6. Those two answers there. Okay. Okay, so slope is 0, y-intercept is 0, negative 6. It's a horizontal line. So here, you can start with the y-intercept, I guess, 0, negative 6. But really, you know that it's you can choose any 2 points along this horizontal line here. You can choose that one there. I've already chosen the y-intercept, so I'll choose that one there. And that should give you the correct answer.